dramatic turn of events. Just during the week under review, the vice president was purported to have move to attend a trip to the United States of America to attend the 2024 U.S. Africa Business Summit in Dallas, Texas. But a twist happened, and there were reports that the aircraft he was in developed faults. As such, the vice president had to abort that particular trip and other to be in the country. And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is yet to arrive after taking also a business trip out of the country to take care of other businesses affecting Nigeria. A lot of analysis have come out to really analyze the situation, saying there is no way that two leaders of a country will leave the country in whose hands there wasn't transfer of power to the Senate president, who was supposed to be the third in command. And it was a tactical move coming from the presidency and attributing that excuse in order to allow the vice president to remain in the country. And there were indications that the Minister of Finance would have taken care of that particular business trip. So this is our focus this beautiful Wednesday morning in the program, Nigeria Today. You can call in through the number 09038808883, or you can post your comments on our Facebook page, Prestige FM Mina. And we are streaming live on our Facebook page, Prestigefm91.7mx, and on YouTube, Prestigefm91.7mx. That is Prestigefm91.7mx, and on a radio app, prestigefmradio.org.ng. Dr. Muhammad Entilali, you're welcome to the program.
Good morning, our listeners, and thank you so much.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been out of the country for almost a week now. He is yet to return, even though the official engagement has ended. So there was no communication coming from his media aides, briefing Nigerians on why the delay in the president coming back to the country. And all of a sudden, the vice president also made a move to attend an official event in the U.S. And dramatically, they told us that the aircraft developed faults. Does it happen in governance, or they are trying to maneuver their way out of the situation?
Yes, certain things, of course, could happen behind the scene that may not necessarily be of an information that the public should know. This could be maybe some personal issues concerning Mr. President himself and things like that. But of course, he went to Europe, he met, and then to Saudi Arabia as well. And then since that time, it is about 8 days now since that summit ended. And nobody have heard anything about Mr. President. But there were feelers that he's going to return today. And him and his entourage will be making the trip back home later today.
So why the delay after that particular engagement?
Yes,
if you could recall, during the last administration, almost everything Nigerians want to know, and their media crew really lived up to expectation, briefing us that after the summit that President Muhammadu Buhari did, he is resting.
Yes, this is one of the major drawbacks from media aids, because if you are a media aid and you are not alert to situations, certain things may get you pants down, and before you know it, the damages may have started accruing. But, Bayo Onanuga, who is one of the media aides to Mr. President, came out yesterday to actually said that Mr. President will be returning to the country later today, Wednesday. And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, along with his aides, have remained out of the country since April 23rd. This is about 2 weeks now. And the president at the time departed for Netherlands to attend a 3-day official visit. And he went to honor an invitation from the Dutch Prime Minister at the time. It was on the invitation of the Dutch Prime Minister. If you recall, it was when he arrived at Netherlands that his presidential plane broke down, and it has to go through some kind of maintenance. So while in Netherlands, he participated also on the Nigerian-Dutch business and investment forum, which brought together heads of conglomerates and organizations in both countries. And then after that, he also held a separate meetings with His Royal Majesty, the King of that kingdom, that is the King of Netherlands. And after that, he went on to Saudi Arabia, and he attended a World Economic Forum, which is a special meeting on global collaboration, growth, and energy for development, which was scheduled for April 28. And then after that meeting in Saudi Arabia, he simply melted, and nobody heard anything about him again. And then, but during that meeting, of course, you know, he joined about 1,000 leaders from business, government, and academia from more than 90 countries to review actions taken since the inaugural growth of the summit in Geneva, in Switzerland, in 2023. So he had a beehive of activities even as he left Nigeria. But again, I think the major problem or the major lacuna that came in was what happened to him from April 30th to now. Because nobody had heard anything about Mr. President. But again, you know, even during Buhari's administration, there were times when he would go for certain international engagements and he would seize that opportunity to go elsewhere and take a rest. And the president, just like any other person, is equally entitled to a leave. This leave, which is for 30 days in a year, can be partitioned into several pieces. He can take a 7-day leave, and then at a much more convenient time again, take another days of leave again.
So within the same year?
Yes, within the same year, of course. The only time he shouldn't exceed 30 days, except if there were health challenges that may have to keep him away beyond 30 days. But otherwise, as a public servant, he's entitled to a 30 days annual leave. And these 30 days can be separated into maybe weeks or even days, depending on his conveniences. So if Mr. President had taken one of those leaves and he has stayed away for about 8 days now, I think he's still doing the right thing. But what was averted was for both leaders to have left the country. The vice president was about leaving the country about 2-3 days ago, when his attention was drawn to the fact that if he left the country, to whom are they leaving the country? Mr. President is not there. He himself is getting ready to jet out. And what the summit he's attending can equally be attended by the finance minister. So what's the point of him attending such kind of meeting, even though he's the chairman of the economic forum of Nigeria? But again, he can delegate authorities using the finance minister. So I believe that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is right to have stayed away, because he's exercising his own fundamental rights as a public servant, which is entitled to. And I believe that every other civil servant is equally entitled to a leave. So if Mr. President is taking his leave, I see nothing wrong in that. He cannot continue to work all the year round. Every civil servant will want to have some kind of rest at different times during their working hours of a particular year. So I believe that these 8 days that he has spent away from the country, he will come back much more stronger, having taken the requisite holidays that he needed to come and continue with what he's doing.
Okay, 0903-880-8883 is the number to call in. Of course, make your comments, or you can post your comments on our Facebook page, Prestigefm91. The president's absence in the country and matters arising is our focus this beautiful Wednesday morning. Apart from that, why are Nigerians expressing their mixed feelings on this development?
Since he assumed office on May 29th, 2023, Mr. President has taken 20 foreign trips so far. He has traveled out of the country 20 times. And he has spent a total of 96 days, including this one. He has spent a total of 96 days out of Nigeria. So I believe if you look at from May 29th last year to this year, it has been a whole 1 year. Now in a year you have 365 days. Here you have a president who has spent 96 days of these 365 days out of the country. Meaning that, and he has taken 20 foreign trips. It shows clearly that he is a kind of a president who do not want to live in isolation. He's a kind of a president who also want to collaborate with other countries of the world so as to get the requisite development. No island can exist on its own, and there is no way you can develop in isolation. You have to keep mingling, you have to keep going around, trying to be how you can be part of Committee of Nations. You can see he went to Netherlands on the invitation of the Prime Minister of Netherlands. And then he took that opportunity to bring together Nigerian business communities and the Netherlands business communities so that they can discuss areas of collaboration. And at the instance of the King of Netherlands, again, you also have to spend an extra day to meet with the King. And then he went to Saudi Arabia, which is about his second visit to that country. It was when he went to Saudi Arabia that he was able to get that aid coming from Saudi Arabia to refurbish our refineries and to even establish new ones by the Saudi government. And if he continues to sit down in Nigeria, nobody will come to you. If he continues to sit down in Nigeria, there is no way he can reach other people. And you cannot keep inviting people while you don't go. And you have to keep attending forums of world leaders. That is the only time you will be able to meet other people of like minds and discuss issues that are related to your country. Discuss issues that are relatively the same as that of your country and see areas of collaboration. For me, as an individual, I feel that the president visit is on the right direction because you cannot stay alone and assume that development will come. Look at our own governor, for example, Umar Mohamed Bago. Since he assumed office, I believe he has gone out of this country now over 10 times. If you have to add the umrahs that he has been going, that will almost get to about 15 to 20 times. So you can see that even as he's moving, he's always making strategic travelings to meet with investors, to meet with people who will bring development, to also be part of a committee of other leaders so that he will have the opportunity to discuss his own matters with like minds and then try to see how we can bring in the requisite development that we needed.
Okay. Since the government is talking about cutting the cost of governance, don't you think that these travels by both leaders from the state to the federal, if there are conferences or summits that a particular minister can adequately represent the country, or a particular commissioner can adequately represent the state, why should the executive officer go? Why should our elected leaders be leaving the country?
Well, bilateral cooperations are at various levels. If in a forum, in a summit, where world leaders have gathered, a certain leader of a country decides to send his minister as an emissary, you realize that the minister cannot discuss with other world leaders. He will only discuss at ministerial level with his fellow ministers. And that will mean a step down of that opportunity. But where world leaders have gathered to discuss issues, if a leader attends such kind of conference or summit, he will have the opportunity to discuss with leaders like him. And at that summit level, you will discover that you will be able to reach some kind of bilateral agreement much more easier. But if you send in a minister, the minister can only discuss on behalf of the country, but cannot arrive at a conclusion and take decisions on behalf of the country. He will have to come back home and brief Mr. President. And then that will also mean more cost of traveling again, because such kind of minister will have to be sent back to that country again to go and meet with that president or arrange a meeting between two leaders so that they can continue with the discussions that was based on what the minister had discussed with his fellow ministers. So I believe that it is not in all cases that a minister could be sent. But of course, where world leaders have gathered, a country's leader is supposed to be there too, so that the bilateral meetings can be discussed at the apex level of leadership, and then agreement can be signed there, and so on and so forth. There's nothing bad if he goes with a specific minister whose ministry is concerned with that discussion, so that as they are signing at leadership level, the ministers can equally sign at their own level, and then the business communities can take it from there and continue with the negotiations. This is how things are being done, but it is not ideal for a president to say that I cannot travel, or I will not be traveling, let my ministers be representing me. Nobody will take you as a serious person. Nobody will take such a country as a serious country that is in their needs of investment. Investors always want to see the leader of a country. They want to hear from the leader of a country. They want to take decisions with leaders of a country so that they can hold the entire country accountable. Because when you meet at ministerial level, you are only holding brief on behalf of the president, and you have to come back again to come and brief the president, and the president will give you further directives, and then you have to take further travels again to go and continue with your negotiations there. That will cost a lot of money. But at summit level where leaders have gathered, you simply take that opportunity and you go there once and for all, including your business communities, business captains of those businesses that are under negotiations. For example, if it is agriculture, for example, you can go with people who are into agribusinesses and they do their discussions there. If it is on manufacturing, for example, you go with your manufacturers and they do their discussions there. If it is on mining, for example, you go with your miners. And these are ways in which you do negotiations. But you don't just say, because I don't want to be criticized for too much traveling, therefore I'm sending my ministers. No, you have to go there yourself. Because when you go there yourself, you'll be able to discuss so many other salient issues, probably, that the minister may not be in the know to actually bring to the table of discussions. The Hausa people are saying, "Zuwa da kai yafi sako." This is something that is always happening. So at the moment, I think in the last 1 year, Mr. President had traveled out of the country 20 times, and in those 20 times, he has spent 96 days. So it shows that he is spending an average of 3 days per traveling, which is not bad at all. Because if you travel and then you spend only 3 days and come back home, it shows that he's not just traveling for luxury. He's traveling for businesses. He's traveling for real issues concerning the country. For a president to just travel and then within 3 days come back to the country again, it means that we have a serious president who actually wants to bring development to the country. Don't forget that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu inherited a death sentence economy. Let me just put it that way. An economy that was already sentenced to death.
Okay, from the travels and the MOUs that they have signed so far, are we seeing its manifestation in Nigerian economy? Series of travels, they must have signed bilateral agreements with these countries or conferences. Are we reaping the sweat of our labor?
We shouldn't be quick in submitting that we expect to see dividends almost immediately. When you go into bilateral cooperations, depending on the agreements reached, you are also expected to come back home and lay the enabling grounds, the enabling environment for that investment to derive. You will agree with me that in Nigeria we have issues with insecurity at the moment. We have issues of economic recession at the moment. Nigeria had already been entangled in borrowings here and there, so much so that we've had issues of even the oil and gas industry at the moment going through turbulent period. You can see that before the last president left, he had borrowed left, right, and center to the extent that even the oil sector at a point in time was simply in a kind of a situation, because even the oil that has not been boughten was already sold through the debt and all of that. So for me, as an individual, I believe that the enabling ground is gradually setting in, and investors' confidence will definitely improve once we are able to have an improvement in all of these situations. And before long, we'll be able to see more investors coming. Today, we saw President Muhammadu Buhari bringing in the Chinese contractors, and they still remain. They still remain in the country, and again, nowadays, so many contracts. We have them here in Niger State. At the moment, they are doing one of the major contracts in Niger State. So it shows this sustainability by this present administration that enables investors to remain despite the challenges of insecurity. It is also a plus to the present administration. And then the country is now talking about jettisoning the idea of importing refined oil. Maybe in the next few months, we'll be able to see a country that is no longer importing. That also is an enabling environment. And then gradually, we'll be able to see a country that is also creating more avenues to tackle the issues of corruption, and then issues of environmental degradations, issues of insecurity. Once we are able to put all of this in place, we will now begin to see the effect of some of these bilateral cooperations that the president is traveling for. And I believe that once they start coming, nobody will even remember that these are the results of the president's travel.
Okay, 090388088883 is the number to call, and of course make your comments. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. My name is Ambassador Deputy Challenger. I'm calling you from Fulani.
All right, make your comments, Gable.
You see, I'm entitled to my own opinion constructively. You see, traveling is good for our leaders to travel to another country and sit with investors and the leaders of other countries so that they will come and invest in Nigeria. But even here in Nigeria, we have our own problems. If we don't tackle the issue of insecurity, how will investors come and invest in our country? Secondly, again, our leaders traveling is good, though, but they should minimize their traveling. I'm talking about cost of governance. It's very, very good. Like the way President Ahmed Bola Tinubu is traveling is a welcome development, but we want them to cut their cost of governance. Like our governor is traveling to bring investors and bring other sweet investors to Niger. If he can tackle this issue of insecurity, and we have other problems too, if he can tackle the issue of pensioners and retirees, it will be better. We want it that way, and it's a very welcome development. So please, they should cut their cost of governance.
Thank you very much, Gebo, the challenger.
As you can see, so far, the president has been able to make a lot of strategic travelings to both African countries, the Asian countries, and some European countries. And I believe that in the next few months or years, we will be able to see the effect of some of these travelings. No president will ever survive in isolation. And I still stand to be corrected. No president that is not traveling. Okay. Every leader is traveling.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you, the young woman in the house.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sebastian from Amali.
All right, make a comment.
Thank you. I disagree. I would like partially agree on what your colleague over there is saying about traveling.
Okay.
20 times that president come up on, but this is how many months. So definitely that the president out of this country for 20 times and 96 days sent it without any development. The insecurity that we're ravaging in this platform yesterday, we learned that the Minister of Information was talked about. It was debunking that the American security will come up to Nigeria and settle down in Nigeria to fight the insurgency. Some of the callers or some of your media colleagues kick against it, and that is the part of where Mr. President usually go. Why? Because seek for help to cop out the insecurity in the country. But you're equally your over there kick against it. Sir, man, you cannot have a country or a state where people are dying, where they are killing people. Let's set example. In Kaduna State, you know what happened in Kaduna State. Kaduna State has been industrial state that every company is there in the Kaduna. The issue of insecurity does not allow all those things to happen in the country as a whole. So if president will be traveling or a governor will be traveling without seeing any insect, without seeing any development that will come up in that state, come back to your drawing board. Sir, man, let's sit down in round table, all of us, what is happening to our country? Let's settle our country first. No any white man that will come to this country that want to settle his business and killing will be going on in that particular place. Let me set example in Zumbi in Niger State. The governor has not been attend any security situation in the zone. Up to date, where the insecurity situation is laying, our secondary school are not even open. Then why must you invite a white man to come and establish business in that place? You know, it's very wrong. So if you are traveling 20 times and you see there is no effect of it, release it, allow it to go, not go anywhere again. Come and settle with your people in your country. You understand? Please. The travel is not been making sense totally.
Okay, thank you very much for that comment. Expressing their displeasure on the level of traveling made by our leaders over time. Hello, good morning. Okay, 0903-880-8883 is the number to call in. Of course, make your comment, or you can post your comment on our Facebook page, Prestigefm91.7mx. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Auntie Memuna.
Morning, sir.
Good morning, Professor Dantala. Good morning. I see in that place Elijah had the photo coming from good people from Wampan and Bosco. You see, in almost a year, our president have traveled for several countries. I even go to Saudi entirely. What we are trying to say here, he had the power to travel. And I want people to understand that the last few weeks, he never come back to the country. From Nigeria to another line, when was taking place to another place, the jet, he break down. Then he tried to, from that place, take the commercial to another place, another country, entirely. He come to our president. In some hours, some days, we cannot even know where he is. Is it good like that? The number one city of the whole Nigeria, in some days, we didn't know where our president is. We have to tell ourselves true. He's there. He's not there by himself. He's there by the vote of the citizen of this country. And by the honor for the God that he will be there. In life is very, very important. Even anywhere he's going, that he wants to be an investment also, of being how to tackle the insecurity. Please, I want people to understand we should have fear of God in our heart. Insecurity we are talking about in this country. It's only in this country who can be able to solve that problem. Let us be fair to ourselves. You know, the area that we're talking about is history today. What are you talking about? You are talking with somebody waiting for America, Britain, France, to tell what is your house. Well, no, the problem is in our house, in this country. Like this time now, I have to join. Not the last spoker. It's true. We know the problem. We should come down to the round table and solve this problem.
All right.
Whatever is here today, it don't matter. We want to put Nigeria first in our heart. That's where we get it right. Let's fall apart in this country. We have to be very fair to ourselves.
All right.
Don't feel like this way. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Umar Azimi, he's saying the governor and Mr. President keep jumping around the world. Yes, no island can exist on its own, but recently foreign companies are moving out of the country due to one wrong policy or another. The rate of poverty is so high and biting the citizens very hard. Yet IMF keep telling our leaders to jump, and they keep answering how high. We are tired of promises. That's just it. Umar Azmi, thank you for that comment. Sani Baban Sani is saying good morning. Good morning also. Hello, good morning. Okay. 0903-880-8883. You can post your comment on our Facebook page, Prestigefm91.7mx, and on YouTube we are streaming live on Prestige FM 91.7mx, and on our Facebook page, Prestige FM 917mx, on our radio app, prestigefmradio.org.ng. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning, sir. Who do you have on the line?
I'm Stephen from Lemma.
All right, Malaysia, make your comment.
What I want to try to say, I don't see any benefit because about our president to travel from the country. No benefit here. If you ask me why, how many about of president of outside country they come to Nigeria? The way our president they travel to outside country day by day. If you want, like example for me, I read about of my opinion talking saying it. Now are you staging for that place? Are you there for your own business? You want to go out. I think you go dropping good something for your side before you go out. Making sure, making movement, making about a process of normal way before leaving that house. You cannot see example. You want to travel like make the way I do now. I want to. You cannot see getting a house where you born. You starting move out. It's not possible. We know about all this one. They know they normal. Our president they travel up and down. What are you traveling for? Eh? Nothing never stay normal. People are suffering. People are dying. And look at that. How much they say right now? How much they say glycol now? How much they say paper now? Paper now, they're talking about paper 70,000 about of one bag. Where was they going? How much are they selling fuel? Last week I go buy fuel. How much I go buy the fuel? 800 one per liter. Eh? If you go there, go say about of no chance. I'm going there about of 2 o'clock. Before I'll be leaving there at 6 o'clock.
All right.
Where else they going? They're not making us peace. They're not making about of normal for this and one. If they're not making about of making Nigeria for peace, then they're resign.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, lamenting on the current hardship that Nigerians are facing while our leaders are traveling over the world to seek more collaboration.
Yes, of course, everybody has a right to lament because everybody is feeling the heat at all levels, ranging from the common man on the streets to even industrialists as well as entrepreneurs are all crying. We are all echoing the same situation. You realize that at every point in time, everybody is feeling the heat. But again, like I have always said, no country can survive in isolation. And there is no president that is not traveling. So traveling is not peculiar to Nigeria alone. It is a global thing. All the presidents are traveling. And even in other climes, we've seen some other presidents also traveling. The fact that as presidents don't come to Nigeria does not mean that they don't travel at all. When they travel, they go to some other countries. Everybody is making a strategic trip that will help his country, not just to go there, take tea, and then come back.
All right. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, who do you have on the line? All right, Doctor, make your comments briefly.
There is nothing bad in the president traveling. Traveling is part of the obligation we have signed to render service to Nigeria. No country or nation ever remain an island in itself. We have facilities in surplus, we have facilities in short supply, and there are other countries that have it in maximum supply. We have to complement one another so that the country will be smooth running as it were socio-economically. The perception of Mr. President traveling as if he is going for Jamboree is also Nigeria is a developing economy. Nigeria is a developing country. And in fact, we have to partner with other international communities that will render assistance to boost our earnings and ensure that more jobs are created, wealth are created, and more youth are employed. That in a way will reduce crime and criminality and will open up the market for better investment. But the issue still remains that we are contending with insecurity as it were. So it will be difficult if not countries of the world that believe in the leadership and the policy of the government of the day. It will be very difficult for them to come and invest in this country. Because you can only invest where your resources, guarantees, are safe. But in a situation where kidnapping, insurgency, are order of the day, it will be very, very difficult. But that will not rule out that must not make attempts to seek assistance from other nations of the world to come and invest in the country. Because we can't be alone. We can't stay aloof in isolation.
All right.
It's impossible. And the leadership we have in place today, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, is so decisive. He is so passionate about righting the wrongs that have been placed over years. Look at the situation in the country when he took over the governor. And he's doing everything possible to reposition. And Nigerians must appreciate this. He's staying at home will not help anybody.
All right.
He's not going to help anybody.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Abdullahi Jabi. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, madam.
Morning, sir. Who do you have on the line?
Dr. Dantala, good morning.
Morning, sir.
I always appreciate you for a wonderful analysis. This is MD Awal from Kwakungu.
All right, MD. Make your comment.
Dr. Dantala, your submission is wonderful today. What am I saying so is that, no country will develop without the leaders going around, the country to break these investors that will come and invest in the country. But my worry is that, Dr. Dantala, you can see who doesn't have that as a policy that will, in the country that will bring all these investors, to come and invest in this country. What am I saying so is that you can see we're having a lot of setback in terms of security, infrastructure, and other things, most of investors around the world, most of the stories they hear about Nigeria, most of investors don't want to come to Nigeria just because of the negative stories that they used to hear about Nigeria. So is that time our leaders will try to bring a kind of policy that will promote the good image of this country so that at least even investors they are to come to invest in this country, they will not be having any doubt, in their mind that they are having, Nigeria is having issue of insecurity and other lack of infrastructure and other things. There are a lot of setbacks in this country, honestly, Dr. Dantala. That we hope and we keep on praying one day, things will get better in this country. May Allah continue to see us through. That's my take for now.
Thank you, MD. I have some comments. This one coming from Jafar Ibrahim Bindiga. He's saying there are many issues to place our fingers on in this country. To be precise, we are our own problem for, but we are hoping and praying may Allah continue to see us through all these issues. Very few. They're eating the national cake, but many are suffering. The president has good intention to his citizens, but there are few bad eggs that need to be flushed, which I always say it. I pray may God continue to guide our leaders and their leadership. May God continue to make us succeed for our own betterments. Thank you very much, Jafar Ibrahim Bendega, for that comment on our Facebook page. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, this is M. Zaboko from Barking Salemina.
All right, sir, make your comment.
Doctor, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, I've been listening to the program all this while, and the summation and the opinion of individuals. Yes, the country we have presently, the way the president has been traveling all around the world, it's not bad, but if you see the level of the insecurity we have in the country now, despite the president is go there to bring an investor to the country, I think not much investor will agree to go to the country that their security is not guaranteed. Why not coming down first and at least resolve the issue of insecurity, the level of insecurity we have in the country first, before talking of bringing the investors? And for issue of the foreign security to settle down in the country, Doctor, it will be dangerous for the country. There's not anybody that knows the peril of the country than the citizens.
Definitely.
I believe. If the Nigeria security are ready to do this and they are well equipped, I believe without any foreign security, they can do it. Let the country empower the security and do the needful, so that this issue of insecurity to be resolved once and for all, before talking of inviting any investor into the country. Because I don't think the investor will be happy go to the country that insecurity is not guaranteed. That is my take for now.
All right. All right, thank you very much. We have this comment. Okay.
I think a lot of people Not in tandem with the issue of the importance of traveling. You realize that first, nations are divided into about 3 categories. You have the industrialized nations, the one you call developed nations, and then you have those that you call the developing economies. Those are the ones that are looking very promising. And then you have the underdeveloped countries. Those are the ones that are impoverished. And of course, Nigeria is a developing economy with potentialities. And because of those potentialities, they can serve to be attractive and attracting to developed nations to come and make further investment. Why do you think China decided to come to Nigeria? It's because of those potentialities. Why do you think other countries were in Nigeria in the past? The United States of America was here, made a lot of investment, and even the Russians at a point in time were here in the 70s and 80s. These were mainly because of these potentialities. So you have to continue traveling to keep telling people, despite the international propaganda against your country is not what the world media is saying about you. This is your real picture. This is your real self. And this is what you are presenting. So this and that countries have come and have made investment. You can contact them for testimonies. This is the
telling our own
stories ourselves. Rather, because if you sit at home, international media organizations will tell your story, and they will tell it in a manner that you may not like. So you have to go out there, tell your own story to will-be investors, so that they can come in, making references with other people who have made their own investment. That way, you will be able to convince investors to come. A lot of people are still skeptical about coming to Nigeria because of issues of Boko Haram. You will agree with me that Boko Haram has been decimated now and cannot wreak the kind of havoc they used to have in the past. Even kidnapping, at the moment, kidnappers and bandits are being dealt decisively with. We know that they are still making some havoc here and there, but mostly in vulnerable areas. But they cannot confront our military at the moment because they've been incapacitated through consistent clashes with the military. So I believe that no foreign media will tell you this aspect of the story. It is you who will say it. And it is when you say it that you will be able to convince the investor. And it is when you make reference with other investors that you will be able to convince this one that is about coming. So, I mean, if you as a president decide to sit down and assume that things will work automatically, you will spend the whole of your mandate with nothing happening at all. And you should agree with me. Presidents of underdeveloped nations will visit you because they feel that you can help them. You as a developing economy will also visit developed nations because you feel they can help you. That is the way. That is where international relations is. And developed nations who are more industrialized will want to expand their scope of businesses, and their targets are always developing economies with potentialities. We also want to expand our own economy, especially issues of agriculture and those areas that we know we are good at, by visiting those developed nations. And then underdeveloped nations will visit us too. Impoverished nations will definitely come. You may not be able to see, for example, the UK Prime Minister visiting Nigeria, or the President of the United States of America visiting Nigeria, or even the French President visiting Nigeria. They may not come because Nigeria is not their focus. We are the ones to go to them and then woo their own business communities to come to our country. And there is the same way too. Other countries will want to woo us, will want to visit us because they feel that we can help them. So that is how things are being run. But when you sit down and assume that things will work automatically, they will not work. And for the fact that Mr. President had traveled 20 times in 1 year, I believe it's still okay, because if you say 20 times in 1 year, that means an average of maybe 2 times in a month.
Abdullahi Salukit, so the travel around of the world of the present administration is not a new thing in our country. We see how the former administration going around the world and come back and implement their minds to add up to our rules. I pray Allah help us in this country. I mean, thank you, Abdullahi Salukit. So, as they want us to believe that they are traveling to attract investors, we have had same story in the last administration, who invest where there is insecurity, where there is security challenges, unstable power supply, and lack of infrastructure. Haba mana. Okay, that's the last comment we'll be taking in the program this beautiful Wednesday morning. And thank you very much to Dr. Muhammad Bensalali for being part of the program. To DC on duty, Ahmed Issa Sakbe, and of course Stephen Jia, who has been the one bringing us live on our various online media platforms. My name is Maimuna Muhammad Babangida, saying good morning.
Haihuwar jarirai babban kyauta ce da Allah ya ba wa iyaye. Shi kuwa shayar da jarirai nonon uwa babban kyauta ce da Allah ya ba wa jarirai. Nonon uwa yana ɗauke ne da dukkanin sinadaran da jaririnki yake bukata, wanda ya haɗa har da ruwa. Ki shayar da jaririnki nonon uwa zalla watannin 6 farko da haihuwarsa. Nonon uwa yana kunshe ne da dukkanin sinadaran da jariri yake bukata domin girma da kuma kasancewa cikin ƙoshin lafiya. Kada ki manta, ki shayar da jariri nonon uwa zalla a watan 6 farko da haihuwarsa. Wannan saƙo ne daga ARIN a ma'aikatar lafiya ta jihar Niger.
In every part of the country, Wema Bank is there, serving the